Okay, Wendy, thank you for agreeing to give this testimony. Just for those who don't know, you've been a member of Reading Vineyard Church for about 2 years,
Yes,
since
right.
October 2008. And you had a knee problem for 10 years. Do you want to just tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think it was a skiing accident. It probably was a skiing accident.
Yeah.
I was falling more times than I was skiing. Yeah. It's just something that gradually just got worse and worse. It was pain inside, my knees were noisy and grating. Yeah, it was getting really uncomfortable, and as the years were going on, it just seemed to be getting more and more painful.
Now, okay, so we come to a particular Sunday, which we're going to talk about in a moment.
Yeah.
What was the condition in your knee at that moment, at that time?
On that Sunday, it was really painful. It had swollen like a small football.
Yeah.
And it was, if I stood, it was difficult for me to sit, and if I sat, it was difficult for me to stand up again.
Yeah.
And I also had really painful back, a low ache in my back.
Right. And on a particular Sunday, I was preaching, and so I made an offer to someone in the congregation to pray for them for physical healing,
Yeah.
if they wanted to volunteer at the end of the service. So what did you think when I said that?
I thought, I'm going to go up. I was just so unlike me.
Yeah.
But my knee was bothering me so much. It was so painful. And I'd been having trouble sleeping as well. Because if I was on one side, if I wanted to turn over to the other side, I'd have to wait for everything in my knee to connect back and to go over.
Yeah.
It was really wearing me down. I was tired. It was really annoying me. So I didn't care if anybody went up there with half a body. I was just going to go up and get my knees sorted.
Right, so at the end of the message, I asked if anybody wanted to volunteer, and your hand shot up, I remember.
Yeah.
And so you came to the front, and Sarah put her hand on your knee, started praying for you.
Yes.
And what were you feeling as we started praying for you?
I remember feeling hot. I was expecting the healing for a start. I put my hands out.
Yeah.
I was expecting for the healing. I was feeling really hot, and I was shaking all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is always a good sign, isn't it, for people listening? I mean, God's turned up.
Yes. Yeah.
He's about to do something.
Yeah.
And while you were being prayed for,
Yeah.
you just felt something was telling you to do something.
Oh, yes. I thought I could hear, not like an audible voice, but something was just saying, go on your knees. Go on your knees. I was thinking, no.
Yeah.
And I kept arguing with this, but hey, I was down on my knees. I got on my knees.
You obeyed.
Yeah.
So you were down on your knees. And do you remember being down on your knees? What was that?
I remember going down on my knees, and I remember, I think it was Emma and Lynn were praying for me. That's all I remember then.
Yeah. But you remember getting up?
I remember getting up because I had to hold on to Emma's arm because I thought I was going to float off. I had become so, again, feeling light as a feather.
Yeah.
I got up, and I thought I was just going to go float off like Mary Poppins.
And any difficulty in getting up?
No.
In terms of your knee?
No, I was afraid I was going to float off.
Yeah. So nothing. You didn't feel anything.
No pain, no nothing. I was just as light as a feather.
And that wouldn't have happened before.
No. No.
So that's amazing. God has
Yes.
touched you like that.
Oh, yes.
And we know healing can be a spiritual battle here.
Yes.
Because you then drive down to Guildford.
We went straight from church,
Yeah.
jumped in the car,
Yeah.
and down to Guildford. And as soon as I got out of the car, my knees and my back were so sore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sore like a...
Well, it just like the pain was there, big time, in
Yeah.
my knees, both knees and my back, and I couldn't believe it, and I just thought, no. And then I remembered I went to a conference where a young lady, she was just adorable, she'd had something really bad happen to her. I think it was just an awful illness.
Yeah.
And she had been healed of this. But then the symptoms came back.
Yeah.
And I remember her saying that when the symptoms came back, she rebuked the pain and believed for the healing
Yeah.
that she'd received. And then she was okay again. And she was okay to give a testimony.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to do that. I'm going to rebuke this pain and I'm going to believe for my healing. And that's what I did. So jumped back in the car, went home, and it was not until the next day I come downstairs and I realised I looked at the stairs like, before I'd look at the stairs with fear and trepidation, thinking, I've got to go up there. There's not so much going up, it was the coming down.
Yeah.
I'd come downstairs with no pain.
And how quickly?
I was just down. I just down the stairs. Yeah, because before...
Like a tiptoe.
It would take me ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just... Sometimes I'd even have to come down one stair at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just... I'd walk downstairs.
Right.
Amazing.
So you just hadn't walked downstairs?
Not for a long time, no.
Yeah.
No, it was slow. It was a slow process. I kind of had to position my knees, and yeah, it was getting a bit embarrassing, probably. Slow and embarrassing.
Well, and worrying. I mean, that's you would feel worried about that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So that's Monday.
That's right. Yeah, that was the next day.
And then now the weekend we had Mark's coming.
Yeah.
So you came along to the Friday training.
Yeah, I did.
And
well, you had invited us to come to the training, and you said you don't have to go to the Healing on the Streets, just come along for the training.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll do that. I can just come along for the training,
and
not do the stuff, which is what I intended to do. And I wouldn't have thought that. Yeah, that's as far as I was going to go.
Right. But you came this Saturday.
I did. I came on this. Yeah, I did. I came on Saturday.
Yeah, and you were worried about the Saturday. On the Friday, when you were thinking about it, you were worried about the Saturday. Yeah,
I was going to go home at lunchtime, but actually, I just went straight out into the streets. I was concerned because of the praying. Mark had said that when you pray for people, they sit on chairs, and you have to get down kneel around them.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, no,
you can't do that.
I'm not going to do that.
Right.
So,
well, because of the problems you'd had with your knees.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not only that, I think passivity was a bit in there as well. Right. I wasn't going to put myself out there. But anyway, when it came to the day, I was there in the streets and people were filling the chairs, and I didn't even think twice.
Yeah.
I didn't give it a second thought. I was on my knees all the time, and I was there for 2.25 hours, and I was just kneeling.
Constantly praying.
Constantly. I didn't have a break. I was going from one person to the next person. I was up and down like a yo-yo.
Yeah. And no restriction on your knees, no pain.
Nothing. I didn't even give it a second thought.
And now we have kneelers for people to use. Did you use them?
Well, no, there were so many people turning up. I didn't see any kneelers until the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I did use one. But actually, I think somebody else borrowed that.
Now, prior to being prayed for on Sunday, would you have been able to do that?
No. No.
Totally impossible.
I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I just would have not done it.
Yeah, but could you have done it?
No, I would have said no.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. I probably would have been in the chair having prayer myself.
Yeah. Well, and not to have used any kneelers. I mean, as someone who has to. I'm amazed.
Yeah.
Now, it's 4 months later.
Yeah.
And do you still have any of those problems with your knees?
No.
No?
No swelling.
Just gone?
And I'm up and down like a yo-yo. Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
Well, Wendy, I think that's a great testimony. I love the kind of spiritual battle in the middle of that, because I think that's really real, and we need to be. People need to be aware of that. That's part of this whole battle.
Yeah.
But what a fantastic testimony! What God has done. Thank you very much for sharing it.
Thank you.